Hey guys, it's me again. I'm working on editing some videos up. I'm trying to learn how to do some things to make our experience with me a little bit better. Um, I went out to go see a camper back in like the beginning of October, and this is kind of the story of the issues that are kind of coming and going from that. I want to play the clip that I recorded to kind of explain the situation that's ongoing at the moment, and then I'll deep dive a little bit after. So I'm going to play it now. Okay. Right here, slide wall touching the corner of this right here where these cables are going into the camper. So the customer called us and said that their wiper seal was being torn and they needed some assistance with it, and I was going to come out to replace it. And I noticed that down at the bottom of the room's actually out of square. I can get a whole finger in there, right there at the bottom. At the top, it's so tight that it's actually pressed up there against that metal trim on the roof. And then if I go around to the other side here, you can see it's a Cougar Keystone. And then over here, it's the opposite down here. I can't get a finger in down at the bottom, not at all. But at the top, there's plenty of room up there at the top where those cables go in. Now, Keystone hasn't denied anything, but they're trying to put it off on our company, saying that if our company will fix it for them, then they don't have any problems with, paying for it to be fixed. But their solution is the problem. Their solution is they want us to go right here, pull the whole room out, disconnect the whole system, take that piece there off and pull the membrane back, and then shave it down to where it's like a ½ inch thinner, and it'll come in and out of the camper the way that they think it should. For one, it's just not gonna work. You can't shave down one side and the room fit in there the way that they want it to. But they're not wanting to take it back and get it fixed the way it should be. All right, so that's pretty much the little snippet that I was working on trying to edit. I went on a little bit of a rant because I was kind of pissed off whenever I was there, but um, mainly because the more I think about this stupid issue that they're trying to get us to fix, I mean, it's the worse angry I get about it. So I'm gonna try to explain it a little bit better. The the warranty department with Keystone. When I turned this over the first time on October 9th or 10th, whenever it finally got sent to them, their response was that they needed better pictures. So I went back out to the camper and I put a level on it. I put tape measure on it. I did all kinds of stuff. And then I even pulled tape measure across the corner to corner to see how out of square the whole room was. And it's roughly a ½ inch out of square, outside corner to outside corner. Um, like I said, this room's touching on the top of one side, the bottom of the other, and their fix was to pull the fascia board and the header board off, disassemble the entire cable drive mechanism, which is a nightmare all on its own, and then remove the slide room from the camper. And then they wanted me to pull back. If you can follow my mouse up here, if you wanted me to pull this black section off, pull the screws out of that thing, peel the membrane up, and then they said shave this wall down like a ½ inch, and then reassemble everything. And they wanted me to take photos all the way, kind of proving that that's what I did to fix it. So I'm not really sure what they think we're going to do if this customer's got an issue and I can prove it in photos, that it's that bad. What they, they want all this photo proof, all of a sudden for everything that everybody does. I don't know what's going on in the industry worldwide or whatever, but I know it's getting worse and worse. They're trying everything they can to deny everything they can. Um, the reason why I disagree with this fix, not only am I going to be modifying the side of that camper if I have to do this, um, it's not going to fix the problem whenever you have two corners touching and the whole room's just out of square. That is the laziest thing I've ever heard of in my life. But you know, doing anything to try to straighten the walls of the outside of the walls up on this camper is going to take the things on the inside and then put them on a cant as well. So, I mean, I don't really know the best way to describe all of that, but where I'm standing in the video there's a refrigerator, and the refrigerator straight up and down. Um, then you have the partition wall between it and the countertop, and then you have a stove top, and then you have another small little section of counter, and then a main partition wall that goes ceiling to floor, just like the one beside the fridge. There's a little bit of cabinetry in there in between the two partition walls, and then there's a giant pantry room on the other side of where I'm standing on the opposite end, where the wall's rubbing at the bottom. Now that pantry wall is basically it's a hidden pantry. There's a TV in the top section of it, and there's a fireplace in the bottom, and then that wall is on a hinge system that you can open the wall up, and then there's like a hidden pantry back behind the TV. It's actually quite a beautiful camper. The design's very nice. It's just a really bad failure on the manufacturer's side to get this thing out and it be functional the way that it should be. Um, I'm gonna say that my thoughts on it are this: the customer bought this camper. This issue popped up. You know, we found it out in the field. Um, when we tried to explain to them on the phone, you know, what the situation was, the guy insisted that this is the best fix for the whole thing. I denied him several times, but he wouldn't bend on it. So I told him, I was like, look, man, I said, you tell me what you need me to do and I'll do it. But after looking at it today again, uh, I don't think it's going to fix the problem. I think it's going to make the issues with this camper slide. I think it's going to make it. I don't want to say worse, but I think it's just going to make it hideous. It's going to be a terrible fix. It's a terrible idea, um, and it needs, you know, that clearance on those sides of that slide room. They need more than just that little quarter inch that it would give me if I could get that half in there, which I don't think that it would work in particular. But either way, the reason why they do that to us at the dealership level, and this is for everybody, this is for techs, this is for you guys that are listening, you know, that, you know, you've bought a camper and you've got some issues. The reason why they do that to us is because once we bring it back into our shop at the dealership level and we fix this or repair it the way that they tell us to, if any more issues come from this, then they can point the finger at us and they can say, well, you didn't do it the way we told you to, or it would have worked. So now you need to go and fix it for free. Um, it's crushing dealerships left and right, having to fix these issues. The warranty process, you know, it's a terrible thing to have to go through, and the way that they want to pay us now. Because, I mean, honestly, I'll try to explain this the best way I can. So, if one of the manufacturers has a dealership they're sending parts or, you know, campers to for us to sell, if they're sending it to us and then they have a bunch of issues like this come back where we won't fix it or we deny them or whatever, then they'll just quit sending us campers to sell to, you know, the public. Which honestly, the way that these campers from Keystone have been going lately across the board, I can't really say that it would be a bad thing. But the where was I going with that whole thing? Yeah, the way it works for us though is okay. If they tell us that in their facility that they can build the slide room from top to bottom in say 20 hours, which they do it a lot faster than that, I'm sure, judging by how crappy they're put together. That if we were going to do it, then it shouldn't take us any more than it takes them. But it also has, I don't know how many people in that facility building the rooms, installing each and every part. I mean, there's probably teams of people that do this versus one technician who's trying his best to earn a dollar going in there. And I mean, if it takes that technician 40 hours to do what they're saying can be done in 20, then that technician's still only going to get paid for 20 hours. The flat rate system across the RV industry is a terrible thing to have to deal with. I'm pretty fortunate that I do get to go out. I get paid hourly to go out, and I try to fix as many problems as I can for people as fast as I can for people. Um, the biggest struggle that I have is having to deal with the warranties feedback. Having to go back and forth with them. Um, and it's always something, they want to figure out a way to deny it or to, push us to the side or whatever and say like, oh, we don't want to pay for that. So just make them go back and go get more photos and then, stretch out all the issues they can as long as they can. It's a nightmare process. But, ultimately, as a dealership, as a technician, we strive to try to get our customers taken care of as best we can. Um, but my whole point of this whole video today wasn't just to point the finger at Keystone and say that that they need to fix this problem. It's not just that. It's about spreading awareness of being aware of the issues you're going to face once you sign the paperwork and you buy a camper. You need to know that there's a lot of pushback coming from these manufacturers right now to have anything fixed. So got to be careful. Like I say, I've said it before in my videos, man, when you guys are doing a walkthrough, I want you guys to just, very politely ask the person that's giving the walkthrough, may you record them doing whatever operation it can. Like I say, you don't have to put their face in it, just kind of point toward whatever the item is that they're showing you, whether it's a stove or a water heater, whatever, and learn the operation, but more importantly, see that it's working. If it's not working, then you have video documentation that it didn't work as soon as you videoed it, right? So that's important too. So, before you sign papers on these things, go and make sure you understand how it works. You can see each and every part of it. I want you to open every drawer, check every cabinet. Just make sure. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not that hard of a concept to take in, man. Just make sure everything's working. Make that person open everything if you want to. It doesn't matter to them. Most of these people get paid by the hour. Some of them get a little kickback for, being able to walk you through it and do what needs to be done. So, um, just have it done, have it recorded, make sure you know how it works, make sure that it's working. Um, and it's not just for, your protection against a dealership. It's, the manufacturers that give us these products are the, really throwing a lot of heat our way, and then we get it from both ends. We get pushback from them, and we get a bunch of heat from the customer, like we build the things at the shop or something. Now I know that there is a lot of repair issues out there too, and that's a whole nother video about a whole nother thing. So I'm not going to get into all that, but you know I want you guys to be able to enjoy your camping life. I really do. I want you guys to truly, truly enjoy your investment in, buying a camper. They're not the best investment in the world. They do depreciate really quick, but I mean, as long as you can really do the right thing and take care of them, and maybe you guys can go out and enjoy yourself. Just go out and take the camper out there and go do what you need to do. These cheaper ones on the lower end of the spectrum, they're going to give you some hard time. But you got to learn how to be patient, be flexible, and ultimately, have some decent problem solving skills. Figure out what you need to do. Um, if something like this at this level comes to you, it's going to be a hard thing to deal with. I mean, these guys are really struggling with it, and I hate it for them. I really do. I really wish there was more I could do. And if they do decide to bring it into our shop and have us do the work on it, then I'm going to do the absolute best I can to make sure that this room is fully intact and working the way it's supposed to. Um, just off the top of my head, I just don't see a really good way to do it. But maybe once I get in and start deep diving, I can figure it out. Um, anyway, I hope this video made sense to everybody the way it does to me and my customers, because they know what we're going through. And anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Uh, enjoy yourself. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and hopefully I can bring you some more good stuff in the near future. All right, have a good night, guys. Bye.